Boom! Right as we start, Shadorra stands up and leaves. That's because he's shutting his door before we get this started. Welcome to the REL 6 and REL 7 div review, preview, whatever. We need a real name for this show other than just like week 11, week 12 preview. Other recap shows have cool names. We should come up with a cool name.
True. It's gotta be like the Wonder Twins something.
Yeah, because there's like the Tripwire and like Punchman's Report and all that kind of stuff. We don't have a good name. We need a name. Yes, we do normally do this on Wednesday. However, we are moving it to Tuesday for the remainder of the season because Shadorra wants it to be on Tuesday. I don't really know why, but that's the thing.
Oh, my D&D night got moved to Wednesday because that was the only day that worked for everyone else other than me. So I agreed to rearrange my schedule. So we're going to be doing it on Tuesdays forever? Question mark?
Well, at least for the rest of the season. But this is going to be week 12, which is a replay review week. We haven't. We are in the point where we are looking specifically at matches with playoff implications. So if we didn't get to your team, I apologize, but there are only so many replays we can look at. And I think we got most of them, at least once. But we're going to be looking at teams that are near the top of the table now. Because those are the whether they're interesting ones or not, generally, because these are the matches that have implications for the playoffs and who's going to go to the playoffs from these two divisions. So, in that vein, shall we bring ourselves to the first replay? Actually, before we do that, 1 second. Since we are doing Tuesdays now, YouTube videos will be Wednesday instead of Thursday. So if you watch this on YouTube or are watching this on YouTube a day early, that's why. And for the rest of the season, they'll be on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays.
Truth.
So, shall we go into the game, into the replay?
Sure. We are going to watch Draenor versus Average Rice and a Lizard Off, Dead Wrestler Society versus AverageRiceJoes, as Average Rice is in third? I don't remember what he was in last week. So this game is important because it's kind of the people jockeying for second.
Yeah, Average Rice needs to win this game if he wants to have a really good shot of being in first. Even if he loses it, he still has a good shot at getting in second, but winning this is his ticket to being within easy striking distance of first place. So this is an important game for him. Draenor is not out, certainly, if he wins this game. But it's much less likely. Like this is the big thing here is that Average Rice needs to win this. If he doesn't win this, he still has a good shot. But winning this is a very good way to lock in that playoff spot. So that's why we're going to take a look at this game. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. So we are.
So watching from Draenor's position.
Yep. And the Dead Wrestler Society. It looks like Average Rice has picked up a star player in Helmet. It's the Stand Firm chainsaw player. I think he's just a human, movement 6, strength 3, ag 3, armor 8 chainsaw.
Yep, human lineman with a chainsaw.
Although he's a goblin, because only goblins can wield chainsaw and cyanide. Draenor.
Models are expensive.
Draenor with the Fame. And it looks like we're kicking to Draenor first.
There is a Squig Sandwich kiosk, so there is no rocks and no refs being gotten.
So no free bribes for that chainsaw, at least. So he's going to be on the field for only one drive, regardless.
Got to get use out of him on this LOS, then. Really good. I didn't see who picked, but if you're facing a... Yeah, so Average Rice chose to receive, which makes a lot of sense when you have a chainsaw.
No, he means who did we predict? So we predicted Average Rice would win this. Both of us did.
Yes, we did.
So
as I recall, it was close.
Yeah, we kind of hummed and hawed about it. So the high kick allowing Average Rice to just get a hold of that immediately. Now we get to do our line blocks.
Lots and lots of line blocks. Finally takes down the block guard Stand Firm. I don't know if I would have put block guard Stand Firm on the line. With the lack of tackle, I think I probably would have put the Blodge guy. Because that's the obvious chainsaw target. And,
is the Blodge guy?
Yeah.
Well, the obvious chainsaw target is Skinks if you can get a hold of them, but probably not with this setup.
We've only got the chainsaw for like as many times as you can pass a 2+. You do it on the Like the blodge or the block guard stand firm is such a.
He's gonna. I would be very surprised if he didn't foul the stand firm guy with the chainsaw right now.
Especially because he can sort of protect. No, he can't.
Well, he's very likely to break
fails
it.
the chainsaw. Has to re-roll it. Does make the re-roll.
It's unfortunate, especially gets sent off now for no reward.
He didn't.
But the injury is good. It kind of protects the chainsaw a bit. Bonehead failure is nice.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, he's
4,
break tackle,
5,
not stand firm. We've been talking about this wrong the entire time.
Yeah, I said break tackle at some point, but I had said stand firm a lot first.
I didn't look at the skill. I
just
took your word for it. I didn't actually look at the skill. So now you know you have my trust, and you shouldn't mislead me because I'll believe you.
He did have a 2-die on the saw without any GFIs if he ran this blodge tackle piece around. Oh, never mind. It's movement busted. He would have to do a GFI.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, aggressively sending the skinks forward. So,
yeah,
going for a bit of a cheeky play here.
Skink on skink action.
A lot of basing for someone who just had a lot of players knocked down.
Well, he's just going to keep getting fouled if he doesn't do something about it. That chainsaw is going to foul every turn available. The +3 on Saurus Armor 9 is so huge.
If there's one team you can't go face to face with as lizards, it's other lizards.
I mean, that's true, but
gonna take some hits here.
If you don't do something, that chainsaw is going to foul a Saurus 100% of the time every turn.
Sure. I mean, it has to make a 2+, right? So it already failed once.
Yeah, so it's not going to fail again for another 7 times, right?
That's not how that works.
Get a KO and a skink. 1 down, although I believe there's a... Oh, no, there isn't a bench. There's no bench for either side. There's sort of a bench for Average Rice in that one of his players is on the bench because he took a chainsaw.
Now, where is this ball going?
It's a good question.
That's interesting.
It's aggressive.
/ Is that safe?
No.
There's a break tackle 2-die. 1-die.
Well, we foul.
Oh, goes for the Croxagore this time.
Vroom! Get him! Get him!
And there goes your inducement.
Yeah. That's the problem of taking a chainsaw.
Chainsaws without bribes, yeah.
Yeah, it's the problem of taking a chainsaw without a bribe. Ideally, like, they're going to get sent off eventually, or they're going to get punched. Ideally, you just try to get as much damage as possible with them before that happens. And 2 stuns. I don't know if 2 stuns is worth 100k or whatever.
So, with a 2+ break tackle dodge, you can get a 2-die on the
There are too many Saurus. I'm having a hard time looking at this. Right.
Oh, but he elects not to take it. Oh, this is diving tackle. Never mind. You can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
You can get a 1-die, though.
Too many skills.
And the 1-die is good.
There we go. Finds it. Sidestep. Not doing a whole lot here, but Skink is KO'd. Because of Stunty, for that matter.
That's a very free ball, and he scoops it up.
Agi 4 Skinks can do Agi 4 Skink things. Off he goes. I feel...
Oh, and he passes. What?
Whoa, Stunty pass. Makes it. That's a 6-6. Boom. Is he just going to score right now? I mean, you might as well.
Score. No. Stall it out. You beat Lizards by doing the 2-1 grind. Making it a 1-0 going into your drive is like the dream. He can't catch you this turn. There's no one who can physically reach the ball.
That's true. I mean, I think the other argument is the worst case, you're just eating 3 line blocks again, and you're going to eat 3 blocks anyway. But I think it's more of an elf way of thinking than a lizard way of thinking. I think that lizards are more fine eating a few blocks to stall it out, whereas the elves would be like, well, I could take 3 blocks this turn, or I could score and take 3 blocks next turn anyway. I think it's more of an elf way of thinking about it. I mean, mirror matches in general are annoying. Lizards are annoying. A lizard mirror match sounds like my personal hell.
I don't like where he positioned Peter LaFleur. If he had put him closer to the middle and farther up, he would have been harder to pin down.
This is so hard. Like, look at this. They're yellow and orange. They're all, like, stacked together in the middle. They all have a billion skills. Ugh! It's so hard to look at. Yeah, that was 3 6s in a row. 1-die pow, 6+ pass, 6+ catch. I mean... He needed 1 6.
Ooh, gets an injury.
He needed a 4 and a 3. Oh wow, White Goodman going down. This is not good for Average Rice right now.
This is terrible.
That's the Apo. So he's just a sub now. So he's not out for the rest of the game, but he's definitely out for this drive. And being down to Saurus is bad. It's especially bad when your opponents also have Saurus and they have more than you.
Well, he licks to score, so there's still a chance for Average Rice to come back in this.
Yep. If that KO comes back, it's still 11 players on 11 players. You're ahead of me, by the way. He just scored.
Okay. I will pause and wait. Let me know when all of the animations for let me know when they're back to setting up.
Yeah, all the lizards are so blue, even when they have little, they're slightly different colors. It's very hard to tell the difference between them, because they wear such skimpy uniforms. The skink stays out, so Average Rice is going to be down a player going into this. But it's just a skink. He has the important ones, being the Sauruses. So the setup is starting now. Dead Wrestler Society getting an extra reroll. I like the animation for that. The ball lands directly in front of the skink, and it just kind of twitches its head and looks at it. What do I do with this?
The idle animation on the skinks is great.
Right, we get a free blitz on a skink here, and we do find the both down, which breaks armor, but does not result in anything permanent or a removal. Just a stun. But take those skink blitzes when you can get them. Croc's just getting pushed. So Croc's doing his job in holding up a whole lot of Saurus here. Go for the pickup. Ooh, fails. You don't need to reroll that.
Yes, you do.
Is there a skink in range?
No, you don't have enough time. You're on the clock, man.
You got 5 turns.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior and Road Warrior Hawk are within blitzing distance of this ball. You 100% needed to reroll that. Saurus have crazy movement. Road Warrior can easily get onto the ball now.
Road Warrior? Where is he? There he is. There's this Saurus in the way.
Yeah, you blitz him. You have a blitz. But he 1 in 9s. Taking that Crocs block at that point was not... Well, it was ill-advised. Croc blocks are for last if you take them at all.
Unless you have block.
Even then, I mean, it's not re-rollable, so you still leave it to the end.
I mean, if you have the choice, yes, but if it's something that matters, you're way more acceptable to do it.
He absolutely had the choice here, and he didn't.
Chain pushes. I'll give himself another hit on a skink, which is certainly nice.
Hit on the Ag4 skink, no less.
And that is a good result.
But he didn't hit the Ag4 skink.
I mean, he still got an Apo, or he got an injury out of it, which is A, SPP, and B, a removed skink.
That would have injured any stunty. Well, I guess that doesn't really say much, but it was a 12 on the armor into an 8. So
the skink now has the ball, and he can get himself a lot safer than he was before. Behind a wall of Saurus. And there isn't a good way... you have your Blodge Saurus, if that could get a hit on the ball, if you're willing to do a 5+ dodge with a free reroll, but I feel like you're not at the point in the game where that's a good play yet. Yeah, so we take the block on the Saurus. We do not find anything with it. Do we have any available break tackle close enough to do anything useful? No, not really.
A couple dodges away from tackle there. That's scary.
Oh, we get an armor break on the Saurus, but just a stun.
You're ahead of me now.
And that's fine, because I don't spoil things. Because people see my screen. So we can mark up some of the skinks that are sort of protecting the ball, but we can't do anything to the ball. So Average Rice has, a lot of free space to move forward here if he wants to, but he doesn't have a whole lot of free Saurus to protect the ball if he elects to move forward here. He can free up You can do a little bit to free one up, I think, but that's not a ton. You can use your skinks as well, but skinks are a much less robust defense than a Saurus. Hey, Doof.
Ooh, that was a 1 in 9 risk.
Good thing you block.
Gets the knockdown on the skink, though. Is that safe?
No,
that
nope.
Doesn't look safe to me.
We have a break tackle.
That skink needed to be on the other corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. We had a hit on the ball here if you use this break tackle Saurus in the back. But we are able to mark up the ball with tackle here, which is a thing. It is RG4, so it's a 2+, but won't get the free reroll from dodge because of the tackle.
He did just pull. Never mind. I was gonna say he just pushed a Saurus onto the ball or onto the Saurus tagging up the ball. So
no, he pushed it in a reasonable spot.
No, he did, but then he had a block on him, so it didn't matter.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, we put the RG4 skink not really in the way because skinks turns out have a lot of movement.
Yep, that doesn't do anything.
Skull.
2 dub skulls back to back.
He had a break tackle dodge with that Saurus that just skulled to get onto the ball, right? Or am I crazy?
No, he absolutely did.
It was a 2-die. He could have made it a 3. Couldn't have made it a 3-die, but it was a 2-die with block against the no block skink. So I think I probably would have gone for that. Oh, we can blitz. I'm surprised we're blitzing him instead of the skink that's more in the way.
He's sidestepped. He's now in the way. That was a terrible decision.
You should have blitzed Von Erich's Revenge, right?
Oh, and then he fails the dodge.
We do have a reroll, though.
Oh, but he makes it. Made that a lot harder than it needed to be, though.
But it worked. It turns out Agi4 Stunty can get you out of a lot of places, and it's cheating. But yeah, I think there was a better way to do that. Blitzing the sidestep guy could have was more likely to make it worse than better. But you could have blitzed the other skink that was more in the way to avoid those dodges and then just run sideways, I think. It's hard to see without looking at the map longer. But I think that was probably slightly better. And again, take anything I say with a grain of salt, because A, I'm tired, and B, I don't play lizards. Well, so now we go into, we have 2 turns left for Draenor, and it is 1-1.
Average Rice is setting up against a 1 turn, even though it's a 2 turn?
That seems like a mistake to me.
It is.
Yeah.
He has realized this.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, because your opponent, like right now, you at least scored. It's not ideal because that was your drive, but you still have all your players, and you have you're missing 1, but you have another chance to get that KO to come back. So it's not unreasonable to try and, either defend for the tie or turn over.
What the hell is he doing?
I'm very confused by this. You're basically, what I'm trying to say is your opponent scoring in these 2 turns is very, very bad for you as Average Rice. Your opponent not scoring here means you have a reasonable chance at a good chance at tying and a reasonable chance at winning if you play well. A score for Draenor here is the worst case scenario for Average Rice, because then he does Draenor is in no position where he feels pressured to score. He can just hang out in his half and protect the ball 100% of the time, and doesn't even need to bother with moving forward. He just needs to play incredibly safe, and then he wins. If he
Quick snap here is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Lets him get a couple of pieces up the field, a couple scoring threats.
A little bit closer to the end zone, yeah. A little bit closer
All
to the ball.
he needs to do is knock down this LOS, cage up somewhere in scoring range, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think this is a big mistake by Average Rice.
I mean, I think we're going to see a ton of diving tackle skinks swarming these scoring threats, but if Draenor plays this right, it should be hard to get any of those, somewhere reasonably in the way.
Yeah, there are only 2, and we can get... Oh,
and Agi 4 being Agi 4.
Rolls a 1, rerolls into a 2.
Would have 1 and 9 if not for the Agi. Ooh, starts GFIs. Oh, he's got sure feet, so this is less risky.
Yeah, he can roll them as long as he doesn't fail the... Or doesn't have to burn the sure feet.
This is the dedicated scoring threat, though I think that he can still get... easily can get diving tackle onto the ball.
You can get another one on the other side. And so
You still can easily get diving tackle on the ball.
Oh, on the ball, yes.
Or not on the ball, sorry. Not on the ball, no, on the scoring threats.
You can put a diving tackle on both scoring threats, yeah. But you only have to clear off one scoring threat, so all you really have to do is blitz one of the skinks. And you just blitz whichever one is not the sidestep one.
You can't blitz the skinks, out of range.
With like a Saurus or something?
No, they don't have that much movement.
I don't understand what you're... Like, if he puts diving tackle on the ball, or on the scoring threats,
okay.
you blitz the skink that's on the scoring threat with one of the Saurus that's right next to it or whatever, or just block it or whatever, and then hand off and score.
I thought you were talking about next turn.
Oh, no. I'm just saying it shouldn't be, even if he puts, I'm just saying if he puts diving tackle on the ball, depending on how he does it, it shouldn't be super difficult to clear it off. At least on one of the two sides. This makes sense by AverageRice.
So the obvious score is now he's because Draenor committed to this right hand side. It does make it easier to because he has no tackle to clear off this blodge step diving tackle. So it's going to be really difficult for AverageRice to get this.
Yeah,
Draenor to get this. Sorry, lizards are all the same to me. Goes for the handoff. It was a 4+.
We're also in diving tackle.
5+ dodge.
We're now in diving tackle.
Diving tackle is a fake skill.
Sure is. I was
fake skill confirmed.
I was just trying to think if it was better to go the other way. I don't know.
I mean, it would have been better to have positioned yourself in the middle so that you had that option.
Even if you didn't position yourself in the middle, would it be better to roll like GFIs and a pass, or like I don't know if he could reach. I didn't count the squares.
2+2+, and he was in handoff range. I'm pretty sure.
To the other side. So would it not have been better to blitz off the skink over there or the Saurus over there, and then do a 2+2+ handoff rather than the diving tackle dodge?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, but
probably that was a 4+, 5+.
It might have been better. Hard to say, but it would have been better to position it so he had both options. And there was only one diving tackle sidestep skink. There were 2 diving tackle skinks, but only one of them had both. So hitting the one without sidestep, like whichever side didn't have sidestep, you hit that side and hand off to that one, and that was your best chance at doing it. But that could have been a lot harder if AverageRice hadn't set up in the 1-turn defense. Either way. Now we're going to go into, we're going into Draenor's half now, and AverageRice... and Draenor is up to 1, so he doesn't care about scoring anymore. He's 1, as long as he just holds on to the ball for 8 turns. So you just, hit players, play ultra safe, score if you get the easy opportunity to do so, but you have no pressure to score. You can just be ultra safe and eventually win the game. Mm-hmm. Extra reroll for both sides. Is that a touchback? It is a touchback. You could just give it to a Saurus. Oh, no, they're all on the line. Oh, he did anyway. There you go. They just give it to a Saurus, and then he has the ball, and he's harder to knock down, and potentially could level if you do end up scoring with them. So that makes sense to me. Yeah, it was a little lucky there. I think you could have done it better, but it worked. So there you go. But I think there was definitely a way to make that slightly better than the way you did it. But oh well. Hindsight. That's a good thing about watching your own replays, though, is often you'll see stuff that you didn't think about at the time, and it's
got a lucky KO there.
And it helps a lot to review your own replays, especially if somebody else can look at them. They'll often point out stuff that you didn't see, or you get a different point of view on things. It can help you learn a lot about Blood Bowl.
Risky doing a 1 and 9 block when your ball is extremely exposed like that.
That is true. I wouldn't say
Ball
I wouldn't
is
say
still
extremely exposed, but it was exposed.
I mean, it was a block from you getting a 2-die. It's still exposed because you can block off Macho Man and then get a 2-die on the ball.
Yep. Do you have the guard?
Yep. Just don't put it there. Good. Bring one guard in from outside.
Yeah. Whereas I always forget that Saurus are that fast, man. Seems
Saurus are as fast as humans, bro.
Seems unfair.
Do you have to make a GFI?
Nope. Yes. Yeah, because you have to go around the tackle zone. So that's a guard that both takes away the assist and gives you a...
Didn't get the knockdown on a reroll, though. That's pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
Oop, and almost one's... Ooh, Jesus.
You're ahead. Wow. You're ahead. Don't say anything. That was a lot of dice. And, wow. Fails the sure feet and dodge, bailing him out there on the skink. Getting in the back. Since all the Saurus are pretty committed to things right now, he doesn't actually have an easy hit on those skinks. So I don't hate like the skink committal like this. And you have reasonable now you have good recovery options if you can pop this ball free.
But that was a 3+ prehensile tail dodge and a 4+ prehensile tail dodge.
Break tackle onto hitting the edgy skink with the ball carrier.
Well, when the ball carrier is a strength 4 Saurus.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Hello, cat. Please don't do anything annoying. Say hello to all the people out there. Oh, she slapped the camera. Melon.
I'm looking forward to seeing that happen in the stream.
She reached forward and batted at the camera.
Melon is not happy.
No, she's not.
Diving tackle finally doing a thing. Nope, it didn't. I lied.
Diving tackle. Like, people advocate for taking diving tackle. It's a good skill. I don't think I've ever seen it work.
I mean, I've seen it. Like, I've used it pretty successfully a lot of the time, but
to be fair,
most people do not attempt diving tackle dodges.
I also just don't have diving tackle, and it'll be a long time, if ever, that I get it. So, the only ones I ever see are in replays. Well, good news for Draenor is that he still has the ball and it's on a Saurus, and it's harder for AverageRice to get to it now.
3-die on the AV busted Agi Skink. It's an injury.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, the hero of the first half, is badly hurt. Diving tackle Skink doing his last act on this earth by oh no. Was just giving assists, but that is a 1 in 9, which means he has to reroll it.
Yeah, diving tackle is one of those skills that only works if you know it's there. If you forget about it, it never works.
Starts his action with a croc blocks that 1 in 9s. That is punishment. Don't start your turn with croc blocks.
Croc boxes.
Croc boxes. Don't do it.
Don't croc blocks. They sound like a children's toy, like alphabet blocks made out of alligators or crocodiles. Yeah, croc blocks.
I also don't like this. You're going to where your opponent has the most strength. Like, he can free up Saurus here and come in and... Well, he can't blitz you now, but he can get on the ball at least.
Yeah, don't block with the crocs first. Safe actions first.
Crocs with the blocks first. It's fine. That's why I'm yelling at you. That's what I do. I yell at people.
Yeah. He tries to make you improve, but not in a nice way.
No. That's what you're for.
Yeah. Well, AverageRiceJoes can free up some Saurus, but they can't really free up enough to actually like hit the ball, I don't think. So the ball is like okay, but it would have been safer maybe if you went slightly safer, because he can, if he does free up Saurus, he can get players on the ball like he's doing now. Boink.
Has to do GFIs if he wants to get on the ball, though. Yeah. And against a break tackle guy, that's not really that useful.
No. If that was a POW, I would have followed, because then you would...
Yeah, absolutely. But you're not going to double GFI for it.
No.
Probably.
I wouldn't, certainly. Agi4 getting out of the prehensile tail. He's fine. which will allow us to get another block on a Saurus.
Elects not to free him up. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Does get sidestep diving tackle onto the ball, though. Potentially sacrificing, I should say, his Agi Force King to hold up this break tackle one.
Well, that's a Crux first again.
Did you just again and then 1 and 9 and again pass the loner?
Stop it! Stop it!
Never punished.
Well, he burned 2 of his rerolls on it. But this isn't. You have sure, there's diving tackle on the ball, but you can just block with the skink, and if it doesn't work, you can blitz with the Saurus, and it's a 3-die.
But then what? 3 dies. Pow hunting is still a
diving tackle is fake. If you hadn't used the reroll on the Crocs, the 3-die is like super likely, even with pow hunting.
Anyway, he's Agi 4, so it's only a 4+, but it is a 4+ with no reroll because you used it on the Crocs.
Like what? It's like a 2/3. It's like 2/3 to get a pow on a 3-die with a reroll.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's 44%, and then half of 44% is 22. So yeah, it's exactly 2/3.
So it's not unreasonable to just try to blitz free, even if he is sidestepping your pow hunting.
Sure.
But you could also just try the skink hit first, because worst case he just sidesteps onto the ball and then you blitz. But if you had the reroll available for that instead of being used on the Crocs, you wouldn't have had to roll that diving tackle dodge. More skinks. So now you can't really blitz yourself free as easily. But like, it turns out you don't need to be going forward, right? Like you're up 2-1. Like going forward and like rolling the break tackle dodges and stuff isn't really that necessary when you could just cage yourself up in a giant cage of Saurus and just wait, and you'd still win this. So like doing risky things to move forward isn't worth it in this situation.
I think I would have elected to blitz with. Oh no, it still wouldn't have worked. Never mind.
But this is like, you've got a bunch of Saurus with guard around skinks now, because all the other Saurus are tied up. So like the ball, like there's a bunch of players for Average Rice there, but they're not going to be able to do much because they're all just skinks. And if he keeps continuing to commit them, they're going to get punched, and that's not great.
Yeah, it's an important Saurus touchdown.
I suppose that's true. I forgot about that.
Getting stand firm on
then again,
the warrior would be really nice.
I'm the type of player that would rather guarantee a win than risk a loss to get a level. But I'm bad, so.
I mean, it depends on how much you're risking the loss to me.
Like, I would not make risky things like a dodge with that Saurus to risk the tie, even if it means I'm more likely to level him. But that's me. That's the type of player I am. So we got a lot going on here. We'll see what Average Rice manages to pull off. Dodge failure, but rerolls because of dodge. Doing a thing.
Gets a 2-die on the ball and does find a knockdown.
Yep, well, you're ahead of me. Here's the block. There's the knockdown. Unfortunate. The good news is I don't think Average Rice has a good way of getting super far away with the ball. He can like mark it up, but I think it would be aggressive, to say the least, to try and pick that up, which he does, and fails. Well, you are preventing the Saurus touchdown for your opponent here, I guess, but it isn't incredibly difficult to score just by picking up with a skink here. Unfortunately, the Saurus didn't catch. Is he going for the Saurus pickup? No. That would be silly. Makes more sense with the skink. Fails that. Elects to reroll it. And we get it this time. So 4 4+ pickups, and we make one of them. Oh.
But then immediately falls
Well, it's on the touchdown line, so if you can pick it up with any... But that's kind of annoying, because you can't pick up with the skink and hand off to a Saurus now, because if you pick up with the skink, you just score.
I think he was going to score with the skink anyway, so that would also level the skink. It turns out.
Yeah, that's fine. But I had this happen to me when I was playing my orcs two weeks ago in the AD thing. Is I wanted to hand off to a blitzer to score and level the blitzer, but the blitzer failed to catch and the ball landed in the TD zone. And if you fail the pickup, then it could bounce out, and then you lose. If you succeed, you just score.
Any lizard coach will tell you that if you're going to try to do handoffs, you do them like a third of the way into the pitch, because if you consecutively fail over and over again, I've watched the ball like edge towards the edge and then eventually just bounce out while you're just trying like back-to-back source hand pickups.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If it was going to bounce out, I would rather take the touchdown on somebody than not on anybody. But not being able to get it on the player you want is unfortunate. Average Rice does manage to get a hold of the ball with that, by the way, during all that talking.
And has a potential handoff here to the Saurus, or the skink, but he fails the catch.
Needs this reroll to work. Gets it.
And it does. Kind of did this in a bad order, because now he's pushed...
He put tackle onto his ball.
Oh, but he's got a blitz. Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, but ideally you would probably like to...
Oh, but he 1-9s it.
Yep. Ordering.
And now he's going to fail this dodge.
Ordering.
And then he's going to be sad.
Ordering.
Yelling at all of you about ordering.
I think in an ideal world, what you do there is move the skink first, and then you try the Saurus block, and if it fails, whatever. And if it succeeds, then great. And then if it succeeds, you have the other Saurus free to blitz the skink to make it even easier for you to score.
Look.
Fails the dodge. Ordering. Both of you guys, do your ordering better.
Fine. It was a high stress scenario, I'm sure.
Certainly, yeah.
Boink. IG4 survives.
All right. So dodge out the skink.
Ooh, diving tackle continues to be fake.
It
has not done anything literally all game.
Diving tackle has not done a thing this entire game. Impressive. Good lord. Oh, that one wasn't you, Draenor. That was Average Rice doing bad ordering. But both of you need to learn your ordering a little bit better. So here we go. We're going to attempt the touchdown here. We got the ball.
Pass was shit. It was a 6... Excuse me, it was a 6+ pass.
Would it have been better to... Oh, no, that's Saurus is on the other side. Never mind. I was going to say, would it have been better to pass to Dwight Baumgarten and then just hand off to the guy in the TD zone? But I didn't realize he's in a tackle zone, so it probably wouldn't have been. Well, that's going to be game because Average Rice can't score, and we're going to have a 2-1 victory for Draenor, which is great for Draenor. And it's not the end of the world for Average Rice, but it's certainly not good. If he had won that, he would have been strongly in contention for first place. Because of this, I think he still ends up in second currently, but it's a lot more precarious because he doesn't have a good shot. He's now more than one win away from first place. He's 4 points behind first. So even if he continues to win, he is going to have a hard time making it into first. So he's kind of fighting for second at this point, unless his opponent, unless the first place team starts losing. But it's always not a good feeling to be in a situation where you have to hope your opponents lose. Mm-hmm. All lizards are the same. Yeah, I didn't see the Saurus dude there. Let me put up the title screen for a second so that we don't spoil. Actually, no. Let's. Well, we watched that game. We don't need to go over it in detail. We saw what happened. Let me put up the title screen while we move to our second replay so I don't spoil anything.
No spoilers. So next up is Arkangels Will and Kakengrad.
The Mezozoic Mighty Men. Another lizard game, interestingly, but it is against Wood Elves this time. And this is also a match that mattered. Cake being at... Before this match, Cake is on 22 points, and Archangel is on 22 points. So this is a... They're currently dead tied, and they're both at the top of the table. So this has strong playoff implications for both of them. A win either way puts them at a good advantage over the other team. There's also Galactic and Tommy Too Tall and Ironmaster, who are all in range because this is a very close division. So this is a very close division. These are two teams that are at the top of the table, and they are tied with each other. So a win here for either player is massive in terms of playoff implications, because almost all of the other top 4 player matches have occurred this season. So this is one of the last ones where it's very, very crucial for the two teams. So
let me know when you're in setup.
I am waiting for the coin flip. I am paused at setup.
Cool. Count us down.
3, 2, 1, play.
So Arkangels Will does have a wizard.
Yep.
Cake has the fame though, winning it pretty handily.
And we are on elf turf.
We are, and Archangel chooses to kick, which is the standard choice. Lizards do not like receiving versus elves in particular, so.
Does Cake have tackle? There's some.
We will show more orcs when you guys start winning games and you're in playoff contention. Oh, throw over a rock, immediately takes out Tyrannosaurus Ted.
Good start.
Who is KO'd.
Good start. Well, I also don't, because you often stream your games, Doof. So I don't want to stream them because you're streaming them.
Oh, you're still on the title screen, Ben.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry.
Well played.
There was a rock that took out Brachiosaurus Bill round 1.
Tyrannosaurus Ted, actually, which is a block guard source.
Sorry.
It's no joke.
But there are 2 tackle for Cake. There's a tackle behind this tree in Triceratops Terry, and there's a tackle in Spinosaurus Stanley, are both tackle saurus.
And tackle doing a thing, taking down the blodge lineman.
I don't want to snake streaming games from you, Doof. You stream your own games, so it would make sense for me to stream them.
Cake going aggressive, basing up the Croxagore.
Well, I mean, good. It's not like the elves are going to do a whole lot to the Croxagore, and that's prehensile tail on wood elves.
Can the wood elves get a hit in here? I think they can.
This is a different division, Saima. This is Div 7. The one we just looked at is Div 6, but there are a lot of lizards. Div 6 has 4 lizard teams, and Div 7 has 2. So many lizards.
So that break tackle, it wasn't necessary because I don't think the wood elves were in range to get around on the back end of the cage, and now means that he can get enough assists with the tree to come in and hit with the War Dancer.
Yeah, the freeing up the tree. I was gonna say that before we started talking about something else. Is the Crocs is safe there because the tree is tied up, but the tree is no longer tied up.
So now we get a Mighty Blow piling on hit on this guy that we're probably not going to pile on because we did not get a break.
Nope.
And we have enough assists to get a 2-die on the Croxagore, who we take down.
Bonk. He's fine.
He's fine.
The good news for Cake there is that since he is fine, he can just stand up and have prehensile tail on 4 elves, but he's also next to a tree.
He gonna get fouled. Spoilers. Oh, not gonna get fouled? Really?
There's no bench for Archangel, and there is a bench for Cake.
I'd take a plus a billion foul on a guard stand firm guy. Nope. Does not find the knockdown on the War Dancer. I think I would have re-rolled that.
I think I probably would have. Yeah, I think the foul was good there.
It was an absolutely good foul.
I don't know. I don't like fouling as wood elves in general because even your linemen are expensive, but I think that one was worth it.
Sure. I mean, but like sometimes fouls are too good to pass up. Yeah, you had a rookie lineman or two that you could have dodged out to foul with.
Yeah, there's just
and
one over here.
anyway, so.
There's one over here who didn't have to do anything to foul. He could have just walked over.
So Cake going with wide cages, not usually better versus wood elves, simply because they can. I guess he's doing it because of the fireball threat, which makes sense. But it does make it easier for them to cage dive if they wish to. We're gonna see more hits coming in on this Croxagore and this lizard, though.
Oh, cat coming in again. Both dance.
Tree takes down the tackle piece.
Both War Dancers are on the stand firm prehensile tail Croxagore, though.
Got a palm. Ooh.
That's big. The Croxagore matters a lot in this matchup.
And he's MNG'd from a Mighty Blow hit.
As a Nurgle player, it is my dream to have my Beast of Nurgle just rubbing his tentacles all over the faces of a bunch of Wood Elves. And the Crocs is not as good as that, but it is close. So the Crocs being out is a big deal. Not electing to go after the ball this turn, but we make it so that the Lizards can't really go forward at all. And they don't have any good blocks currently either, so Blizzard's probably just getting the one blitz out of the next turn, which is kind of how you want it to be as Wood Elves.
Yep, not a lot he can do here, and he has to be careful about basing up too much because he's going to take hits.
Here's the one blitz.
We're going to see an attempt to switch sides, I believe. That's what this has written all over it.
Makes sense to me, honestly. I mean, there's like a 4 deep screen on the right. There's no way you're getting through that right now.
Where's this ball going, though?
Well, we'll find out when he moves it.
Won't we just? That's a little spicy.
Oh, GFI. Makes it, though.
Another GFI.
Makes it.
What could go wrong?
Fireball. Fireball. Fireball.
Would I fireball that?
No.
Probably not.
I don't think it would be worth it to fireball 4 players where 2 of them are armor 9. Although if you do happen to knock over one of the Saurus, you have a really easy hit on the Skink. Like either Saurus, honestly. But I don't like it.
I mean, I think you'd just bolt either way. You just bolt and then.
If you were going to do that, but you could just go after the Skink right now without too much difficulty, like with the War Dancer, with a leap. Turns out Strength 2 ball carriers are a nightmare against leaps. Oh, we're just gonna go hit the Saurus on the corner.
Yep, does take him down. Both players throwing GFIs for reasons.
Well, Elf Turf, it's not gonna hurt them.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Grab! Nice. Now tying up 2 Saurus with the tree, which is one of them being Tackle as well, and one of them being Mighty Blow is a win for the Wood Elves there. Saurus can have unless they dedicate a lot more players, they're not pushing that tree anywhere.
Yep, still no one on the ball though, so this isn't really that much of a credible threat to Cake.
Not yet. Although
His current position.
the good news for the Wood Elves is that 2 of the Saurus are tied up, so it's going to be hard for Cake to make like a super serious cage here, which could lead to a strip or to a leaping opportunity depending on how he sets up. Not often you see Skink getting a easy 2-die.
Oh, trying to re-roll this dodge out from the tree does not make it. That is a somewhat exposed ball.
I don't know if I would have re-rolled that. I would have tried it, certainly, but I don't think I would have re-rolled it.
3 re-rolls on turn 4. It's not the worst thing. I can see trying to re-roll that, but I don't think I would have either.
Yeah, so I definitely would have.
There's a leap 2-die. Does get it.
Because
does not work. Re-rolls.
I believe the quote that was once said about me was, he treats re-rolls like they're coming directly out of his paycheck, which I think is accurate.
Scatter is good for Cake, so the takedown isn't that bad.
Nope.
But it does mean the Dancer is sitting pretty on your ball.
Yeah, that's a Blodge Step player sitting on the ball, so that's kind of annoying. But at least the ball is in 2 Saurus tackle zones, so the Wood Elves aren't likely to get it either. Yeah, Doof, wait, you have rerolls? I assumed you just cut them. I do have rerolls, but I finish with them too often. I'm getting better at that.
In my clan game this week, every time I rerolled something, it was a dub skull.
Exactly. Rerolls don't do anything anyway, so what's the point? You just not
Both times it was like very low risk, but like high reward if I knocked them down on the greed. So.
Yep, these are both Mighty Blow War Dancers, and one of them is Mighty Blow Piling On. So yes, these guys are terrible. This is a terrifying Wood Elf team.
So he has cleared up the ball. Now with a break tackle, he can blitz.
There's the War Dancer's still on the
rolls
ball.
a
You're ahead of
one.
me.
Exactly.
Rolls the 1.
Rerolls and does get it though.
I would reroll that, certainly.
Finds
Yep,
tackle.
we do have the tackle, so down goes the War Dancer. Ooh, he's KO'd. That
Yep,
helps.
he's out.
That helps. Which takes away all the tackle zones on the ball for the Wood Elves.
A 1 die on a dancer is brave.
Yeah, I think I might have just tried the dodge.
Oh, it was a dodge out of tackle with no reroll.
Does that War Dancer have tackle?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
It does.
Yeah, but the 1 die.
Guess which magic skink is getting punched?
But a 3+ is better than a 6+.
Mighty blow, piling on.
I love the piling
Piling
on.
is so good. Wow, skink of steel though.
I mean, I would have probably taken the dodge anyway, because the other option was a 1 die, and it's a 1 die where you needed a POW, so it's a 6+ or a 3+. So
I mean, I think it was a 3+ either way because he was happy with the push.
no, because a
but-
sidestep.
Yeah, but he sidestepped him off of his only remaining skink.
But is the goal not to get a skink free to?
Yeah, it did free up his skink from tackle, not from tackle zones, but from tackle.
Oh, I see.
So either way, it was a 3+ and it didn't.
That was a weird graphical thing for me.
It was.
I don't know if that occurred to you.
It did. I think I would have gone for the handoff here rather than the block.
That's a 3+ handoff, yeah.
Three plus handoff with a reroll
Into
would have
running to
gotten the
space.
ball super safe. Yeah,
Could it have gotten away from the Saurus completely?
I think not.
No, but the Saurus also would have been in the throw or tackle zone, so we would have had to
Yeah.
blitz or dodge. Anyway, an injury that we didn't talk about.
On the guard dodge piece is pretty huge.
Yeah, that's very annoying for the Wood Elves losing their guard, or one of their guard. I think it's the only guard.
Did he just get niggled again?
He did.
Or is he already double niggled? I can't tell.
He has 2 smashed knees now. No knees. No knees left.
Be a guard lineman like you.
Oh god, armor 7, double niggle. Ask Sean Man how terrifying that is to have. The Terry Tennant special, 2 broken knees. Rebel memes in full force today.
Is diving tackle a real skill? It is. Rerolls it.
He can't get another smashed knee. Like, you can't be triple niggled. You can only have
Oh,
2 of each injury.
does get away the second time.
Although I don't
So now
know what the actual result is. I don't think you can have 3 niggles, but I don't know what happens
can't.
if you
You
get
only
it.
have 2.
But what happens if you get a 3rd niggle?
I
What?
think it's just an MNG.
Yeah, that's what it is for stat busts. If you already have 2 of them, so presumably it's the same for niggles. Anyway, the thrower gets the ball and he's free. So sort of resetting and doing the Wood Elf thing where we get some scoring threats and then keep the thrower as safe as humanly possible, elfily possible.
Not in tabletop though. If you get reduced to 0 stats in tabletop, you die.
In old tabletop, I don't know if it's currently the case.
Yeah, I don't think it is anymore. But there was a period in time where Saurus were easier to kill than any other like strength 4 piece because they were agi 1.
I mean, there was also a period in time where the game was so broken it was just unplayable because you could have a team of entirely Minotaurs.
With like claw level 7 or whatever, mighty blow level 7 that was just like insta killed anything it touched.
Well, it was also they had Wild Animal. Wild Animal was different in that it forced you to throw throw blocks, so you could engineer like on the nearest player. So you could engineer it in a way where you would get like multiple quote blitzes per turn with Minotaurs. It wasn't like roll a dice to block. It was you must block, and you must block the closest player.
How do they get multiple blitzes?
Because if they had to like you had no choice. You had to block the nearest
Oh,
player.
it would move
Yeah.
to do blocks? That's insane.
I mean, Edition 1 Blood Bowl in 1980 something was really broken. Anyway, This is a game.
Was looking for a knockdown on this piece so he could get a scoring threat. I don't know why he didn't just use the blodge lineman as a scoring threat.
That's a good point. He does have to dodge with the thrower if he wants to do anything currently. That's a...
Yeah,
Would you... Why...
And the positioning on that catcher means it's now a... Okay, he handed off to the catcher.
Would you have not
Finally
sidestepped
find
that
a foul.
skink onto the ball so that there are more...
He has no scoring threat now.
Nope.
Bizarre choices. I don't think that was the best play. Going for a hit on the catcher. Does not find it.
Although, if I recall correctly, Arkangel did say something about this. He said he made some mistakes and he doesn't want to watch the game again. So, maybe this being one of them.
I think that might be the case.
Yeah, you could have just used the blotch guy as a scoring threat. I don't understand why, when he blocked the skink, that Cake didn't just sidestep him onto the ball instead of away, because he couldn't have taken another block, and that's another tackle zone on the ball carrier. So that seems weird to me. But anyway, we knock over the ball carrier, but I don't think we have any way of getting it into the end zone for Cake. So it looks like we're going to end half 1-0-0. So yeah, no scoring threats available for Arkangel. So this is where try to.
That's a good result for Arkangel. He did deny the Lizards the score on their drive.
That is true. I forgot that this was the Lizard drive.
And he did not use the Wizard.
Yeah, that is a big win for Arkangel. He had a shot. Like I guess we're criticizing in the way that he had a good chance. That's a skull. He had a good chance to make it 1-0 in his opponent's drive without using the Wizard, which would have been even better. Which is why we're sort of criticizing that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. Like if you had one chance, one opportunity, mom's spaghetti.
Yeah. But even if that wasn't a possibility, if someone told me it was the Lizards drive, the Wood Elves had a Wizard, they prevented the Lizards from scoring, and they didn't use the Wizard, I would say that's a win for the Wood Elves. So.
Yep. And the Dancer comes back. The
Saurus does not.
Saurus does not. I am fucking exhausted.
Me too. It is bedtime in 20 minutes.
We can just cruise through the predictions.
No, it's fine. I don't mind being a few minutes late.
I do, obviously.
Maybe we'll go a little bit faster than normal, but keep that content value, that production value up. People like our recaps for a reason. They're good. At least I think so. Not to toot my own horn or anything. I don't have a horn I can toot. I wish I had a horn.
If we remove some of your lower ribs, I'm sure you could manage.
I have a Pachamari. It's kind of like a horn. It's very cute. Here we go. Both teams get an extra reroll, and that's a super short kick.
I wouldn't hate to see a pass here. No, doesn't pass.
I think he's just going to hold on to the ball and set up for a pass next turn, potentially.
Was that a red die?
No.
Nope, it was just a 1 and 9.
Yeah, he just rolled two both
Probably
downs.
would have blitzed. Probably would have blitzed before I made the tree block.
Didn't have
There is a break tackle. Oh, never mind.
There weren't many amazing blitz targets, though. Unless you want to super expose a War Dancer, that doesn't seem like a good play.
I suppose. I just don't like how exposed this ball is.
No, me either. He could have gone further back with it, maybe. The good news is, worst case, I think the worst thing Cake can do here is make it a 2+ dodge for the thrower. I don't think you can get that diving tackle on without rolling a whole bunch of dice.
So, you roll dice with skinks.
No, you can do it. You can. It's a 4+ to put diving tackle on the ball.
Why is it a 4+?
Or right there, stunty. I keep 3+.
It's just a 3+.
It's 2 dodges though, is it not?
One dodge. Dodge, as you just did. Dodge in diagonally. I mean, that is not... Oh, actually, no, that is well placed on the ball. But the board answer is about to make the skink sad.
Oh, tree fails to stand up.
I like this positioning from Arkangel. It means that in the event of a push, the skink couldn't sidestep on the ball.
Yeah, that's a good blitz location for the ward answer. We do find a stun on the diving tackle.
Oh, does not quite snake the dodge with the ball.
Well, he rolls a 1 initially and then re-rolls it to a 2. Close to snakes without being a snake. Well, to be fair, the last in your division wasn't entirely your fault, Luke. From what I can tell, the games you have played have been good, but you're kind of locked out of your Blood Bowl account for a while, and it turns out if you don't play the games, you can't really win them. And that through no fault.
Pro tips.
Yeah, through no fault of your own. Or maybe it was your fault that you got like your Blood Bowl account compromised. I don't know. Have better computer security? I don't know the situation.
You're a jerk.
Yeah. Well, with only one...
Interesting caging up versus lizards. I think lizards are going to flood you now, and
yeah,
this does not necessarily benefit you. Gets a 3-die on the catcher, takes him down with tackle.
yeah, only one scoring threat for the elves currently, so it's not really that difficult for Cake to just be like, here, skink, skink, and now flood the ball with sources.
Yep, and he finds a KO, which is important.
Yeah.
What's the only catcher out, I think? No, there's one more left.
Yeah, worst case, if Archangel elects to throw the ball to the only scoring threat, he's in 2 tackle zones and then has to do 3+ dodges.
Tree takes root. Does he stand up, though?
You're ahead.
Yes.
You're ahead of me. Tree takes root, but does stand up. Well, at least he's not in a terrible position. The take root isn't awful there. You can sort of protect yourself a little bit by anchoring against the tree. He's at least sort of centrally located. So that's not the worst, but, you know, you'd prefer him not to have taken root.
I think we're going to see... Oh, that was a bit of a scary dodge away from tackle. Gets the push he needs. Going to continue to cage up, though. Did need to do that dodge because the Mighty Will piece did have a 2+2+ to die the ball.
Yep.
So.
Can't really allow that. Well, you get the lineman out.
But you are just kind of bringing your players all together and allowing the lizards to kind of flood you.
Yeah, we've got 6 elves in one spot here, and the lizards are okay with that, honestly. The biggest problem for lizards is that when all your players are all over the place and they can't really deal with all of them.
Wait, when did the piling on dancer get MNG'd? How did I miss that?
I don't know. I didn't see that either.
What?
I don't know, man. I wasn't... I was talking about horns, maybe? I don't know.
That might have been while I was asleep.
Quality content.
So now Cake has to be careful here not to overcommit and leave a way for this with lizards, or sorry, the wood elves to just kind of punch through and move forward.
Mm-hmm. This is not a bad way. So the biggest threat there currently was the handoff to the lineman on the corner and then having him run, but now he's in 3 tackle zones, so that's not really an option anymore. I like how the skinks wear little socks.
For their little feetsies.
All the people he could hand off to are now in tackle zones.
Ooh, goes for a greed reroll. Is not rewarded.
No, Velociraptor Vinny.
And then fails the
Oh,
dodge.
that's not good. That's extra not good. The ward answer being stunned. And the turnover with some Saurus on your ball.
Yeah, that's got to be GG right there.
That is not a good turn.
Still no wizard use, but I mean, what are you going to use it on now? Ball's down.
It's not your turn. You can't use it.
KO'd. Exactly. I mean, like, assuming the lizards don't score here, which they probably won't, they're going to stall.
Well, they have to be careful. If they do stall, the lightning bolt still is a threat. So it depends on where the wood elves end up. If there are enough of them on the ground where they don't have a good way of recovering from a lightning bolt, then you can certainly stall. But it's something you have to think about. Ooh, a lot of dice being rolled on that lineman, and he's not going down. That was triple push even. I was about to say, you probably could have taken a both down there because wrestle. And he put himself on the floor.
He's now on a diving tackle skink by himself. That's not a bad result, really.
But it didn't matter because there wasn't a both down anyway. It was triple push. Surehand skink getting a hold of it, and he's pretty safe. But yeah, I was going to say, you lightning bolt that if you're ever going to.
Ooh,
now's the time.
Into an injury. Smashed. Oh, that was minus strength briefly, but K-Gap it.
Yep. Joins the substitutes.
Scatter is pretty good for the Wood Elves. With a 4+ and a dodge out, you could get this ball and run to space.
Yeah. There's the...
Why is he doing it with the catch? Okay. Well, he failed that anyway. I think he was going to hand off to the lineman and then run away.
Because that was a 4+, 2+. But, I mean, the other way was also a 4+, 2+ with dodge. Like, that doesn't doing it that way doesn't save any dice, but it gives you 1 extra square of movement.
2 extra squares.
2 extra squares of movement.
Which is pretty important, so...
Yeah. And it was the same dice either way, so seems good.
I agree with the way he did that there.
Something apoing a skank, yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a skink, yeah. It gets around the normal skink apo rules.
Well, here's the 3 die to clear off the elf from the ball. And we get it, and it's a stun. Diving tackle on the two players there. Ward Answer can just leap to get free of the diving tackle, if he would like. So you got to be careful where you put this skink.
Now can get a 1 die on the ball. 1 die is good.
There's the leap. Bonk.
Ward Answer catches it and then fails the dodge.
Almost, like, so many things almost going Arkangels' way and then just not quite getting the Wood Elf nonsense he needs to make this work. Tries the Wood Elfy thing. First few rolls work, and then the last one doesn't, unfortunately. Well, ball is totally free, so we just have a skink pickup. We have rerolls available as well, so it shouldn't be too hard to get this into skink hands. And then you have 2 free Saurus, one of them with guard, that should be able to make you and your skink pretty safe from the Wood Elves, especially since that Ward Answer is KO'd.
So do we think Cake has forgotten about his 2 skinks in the middle of the field?
No, I think he's just leaving them on the linemen.
There's no lineman there.
Yes, there is. In between them.
Oh, there he is. Right. He's hiding.
Behind the tree.
Sneaky bastard. I thought he was next to the tree, which is why I was confused.
No, he's in between the 2 skinks. He's just trying to tie up that scoring threat to prevent the Wood Elves from doing Wood Elf nonsense. I mean, it's dice, but Wood Elves will throw dice, especially in this situation. So I like that he's leaving them there. Oh, trying. And nope. I certainly agree with that. There's almost nothing he could have, Archangel could have done there except for that play. So he went for it and unfortunately did not get the knockdown he needed. Well, this is turn 15 for Cake. If you can stall it out one more turn, you do, because there is no wizard. And I think it shouldn't be too hard to do so. You just have to be careful about that Ward Answer because he is no longer stunned. So he will leap if given the opportunity to do so.
Foul one.
Yeah, with your spare skink, yeah, for sure. On the one hand, you want to guarantee your score so you win. On the other hand, Wood Elves can always one turn pretty easily, especially with a grab tree. So definitely stall if you can. Depends on how confident you feel.
Oh, he's outranging the Ward Answer, I think. No, he's not.
Yeah, that doesn't outrange the Ward Answer, but
it is a foul, and the foul is good.
It's a lot of dice for the War Dancer to do anything, and trying to guarantee that with the foul. And the injury is enough. I mean, a stun would have been good enough, but the injury is even better.
Surprised we didn't see an Apo on the second MMG on a War Dancer. That means he's out both of them next game.
Yeah, and that was turn 16 or 15. It's not like he's going to take another one. I think I would have Apo'd that.
Especially because Cake's not going to take a block here, so I think, yeah.
Well, that's going to be 1-0 for Cake on turn 16. It was quite a thing. Like, that was a cool game. I liked it.
Yep.
A lot of things that happened, and that's really big for Cake, as we will see on the leaderboard very shortly.
MVP goes to the Skink who scored, so he leveled up.
Oh,
and
good.
he picked up nothing yet. If he doesn't get anything exciting, he gets fired. So the leaderboard, keeping in mind that Wood United has not played Cunning Foxbop yet. And Sons of Sam, of course.
Oh, Arkangels will have made 9 of their 9 going for it, which is a thing. Kicking God only rolled 2 boneheads because the Crocs is out all game, but he made 8 of 9 go for it. So go for it's doing well this game.
Yeah, both teams were throwing them. So the leaderboard, it looks like Tommy Tutel on top with 8-2-1.
Yep.
Cake right behind him at 8-1-2.
So that's 26 and 25 points respectively because of that game, that win over Arkangels will. As you can see, they were very close. A win for either team was massive there. So good for Cake. Even with the loss for Arkangels will, he's still in third. But there's only 2 playoff spots in this division, so the win was massive for Cake there, keeping him in range of Tommy Tutal, 26-25. So we have Archangel on 22. Galactic, who has played, is also on 22. Ironmaster is on 21. Along with... and then we have Lord Teton at 17, but he hasn't played this week, right? And he has the bye, I believe, so he will be at 20. So we've got, the top 6 teams there, all within 6 points of first and within 5 points of second, with 2 games to go. So there's 6 teams in this that are still in range. Although we have, it's mostly down to the top 4 at this point, who have the best shot at being in there for sure.
Yep. And looks like Ironmaster had a tough result. I think he tied. Yeah, so.
Yeah, if he had won that, he would have been at 23. So solidly third and only 2 points off second. So that tie is actually really big for him. It makes it a lot harder for he has to rely on some players losing now, I think, for him to make playoffs, which is not the best situation to be in when you're trying to make playoffs. So let's see. Yeah, Sons of Sam and Armor Furnace haven't played yet because that's a bye. Orcs versus the Scaled Measures. I need to find my predictions here. This is Div 7. So I predicted Doof, and you predicted not Nylok, and Doof took this 1-0.
You did indeed.
I watched the second half of this game on Doof's stream while he was streaming it, and it was one of those games where things go right for Orcs, like when you just are in control of the game the whole time, and there's not a whole lot the Lizards can really do to stop you, because Orcs are one of those teams where if the game goes well, it's easy to just remain safe and remain in control, and it was a pretty solid win for Doof, 1-0. Sustained 3 casualties, but dished out 4 himself. But you can tell by sort of the number of dice that were rolled, not a whole lot, right? And that happens when you have a good game as a bash team. Although his block dice were horrendous. Although I think it turns out, a lot of those didn't matter. There were a few double skulls and stuff, but a lot of those skulls occurred with pushes and stuff. Then we had the Rotterhood versus Friendship is Massacre. We predicted that the Rotterhood would take this over Morally, and they did. 1-0.
I think this is where I'm supposed to pretend to feel bad for Ironmaster because he got bad dice for once.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tiniest violin.
Yeah, there's a bunch of only one skink by the half is very good for orcs. 4 dub skulls and 4 turns in the second half is where all those skull rolls came from, but I imagine most of those are just rerolls. Yeah, so we had 1-0 for the Rotterhood. The dead Rotter picks up MVP, unfortunately. But Handsome Tim gets MVP for Morley.
Pretty lame. Yeah, I mean, quad skulls happen, you know.
Yep.
It sucks.
I'm
still not going to feel bad for you.
I've got the worst I've done so far was Penta Skulls. I've gotten a 3 dice that was triple skulls rerolled into skull both down is the worst I've seen so far in my games. But this looks like kind of a pretty solid game for the Rotterhood. You know, they had the ball in control for the majority of the game. Friendship is Massacre not really getting it very often. Nurgle taking more blocks, interestingly enough, but Friendship is Massacre taking way more removals and 7 casualties. But the Rotterhood took 3 KOs, 3 casualties, and a death. So,
and they both had 13 blocks.
Yeah.
Or 13 breaks, rather.
While a very violent game, it looks like the Rotterhood just had the game in control. My cat just freaked out. That was what that loud sound was.
I know, I figured. So yeah, kind of an interesting game. It looks like, yeah, like you said, the breaks going Rotterhood's way kind of dictated this.
Yep, kept it in their control, but it was a bloody game on both sides. Just slight edge to the Rotterhood, and when it's a violent game like this, 1 or 2 extra removals can make all the difference. Arkangels Will and Mezozoic Mighty Men. We just watched that, so we don't need to look at it. But for reference, we predicted. I predicted the Wood Elves, and you predicted the Lizards. So that's a point for you over me there. So I think we're dead even now because I predicted Doof in the other one.
Yes, but I think all of our other predictions went your way.
Oh.
I was looking at it earlier.
Well, in the next game, I predicted Norse and you predicted humans, and they tied. So no points either way there. 1-1 between Ironmaster and Rock Lobstrosity. Let's see. We had pretty even possession. Double the number of blocks for Ironmaster over the humans. 70 successful blocks. That's insane. That's a lot of blocks. 4 casualties and 6 KOs sustained to 6 KOs and 2 casualties. So similar number of removals, but Yeti to Conquers are ones that stayed out for sure. And the humans potentially ones that could have come back. Let's look at the KO recoveries there. 55%, about average, but getting some of those back certainly would make a difference.
Yep, looks like very pushy blocks. Though you did roll, in general, more knockdowns than kind of the bad end of things.
Yeah, and his D6 were not bad either. 13 successful wild animals, 0 failures. Let's see. Reasonable amount of dodges.
Yeah, sometimes your DP gets sent off in the first foul. It's not normal to have it going off on a string of 4 fouls and remove everyone every time. I feel like your dicings have really given you a skewed idea of what games are supposed to be like.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one quad skull in the entire game, and therefore my dice were horrible. I hit everything. Every other block was successful. There's only 1 turnover block for you in the entire game. I feel like it would...
I mean, technically speaking, on 70 dice, 2 dub skulls is totally statistically expected.
Not necessarily together, though.
No, I know. That's why I was being pedantic.
We're just giving you a hard time.
We are indeed.
But that is, a tie.
We'll have to come back to the Werewolf of Wall Street and Wooden United tomorrow. I think it's being played.
It's being played now, essentially.
Yeah, so I'll get the score and I'll add it to the YouTube video when that goes.
So it'll be in the description correctly. I didn't do the simulations because I forgot to. Because normally I do them on Tuesdays, which is for Wednesday, not on Monday for Tuesday. Or I do them on Wednesday for Wednesday. Sorry. Words tired. But yeah, I didn't do them because I forgot that we were doing it today instead of tomorrow. is the point. We will add that to the description later when we see the results. But for now, for reference, I predicted the Necro and you predicted the Wood Elves.
Yep. And then we have the Rotting Snatches and Norse Unleashed. MVP going to Zara, which is real unfortunate, and it also looks like she didn't do much. Though Zara doesn't work against Nurgle, does she? It's only undead teams, right?
Well, the stab still works, but the +1 to the stab doesn't work.
Stakes doesn't know. He gets an MVP on a Nurgle warrior leveling him, which is
I think the big reason to take Zara in this matchup is that she's Blodge, Strength 4 Blodge.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, but Rotting Snatch is taking this 2-0. MVP on the rookie Nurgle warrior is huge. 21 armor breaks to 5 results in something that looks like this. 7 casualties sustained, 6 KOs. Oof.
Only 3 inflicted, though. So that means the... I backed out of it. Whoops. The Norse cased themselves 4 times. They cast themselves more often than they were cast by the enemy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They never had the ball. Half the amount of blocks that the Nurgle did. This is just the kind of game you want to have as Nurgle, right? You just
0 SPP for Hiroto.
Yep, that's
5 SPP to Zara, and that's it.
Very unfortunate for Hiroto. But as Nurgle, that's the exact kind of game you want. Total in your control, just beating up your opponent. Removing players to make it way easier for you. So very good game for Rotting Snatches. Very unfortunate game for Hiroto.
He's got a couple of those this season.
Yeah. Well, I guess next week we'll find out what the team looks like, because that may be a little scary. Shall we take a look at next week and see and make some predictions here?
Sure.
Well, Armor Furnace versus Arkangels Will is going to be a win for Arkangels Will. And the fact that they lost that game means that their free win isn't going to catapult them into first. It will catapult them into tied for second with Cake again. So, yeah. So a win for Archangel against Cake would have been massive there, especially because of this admin's call here. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, but he's going to stay very close in contention with that. Rotterhood versus Yeti to Conquer. So we got Galactic doing well, 1 point ahead of Ironmaster currently.
Yeah, is got a really good Nurgle team. Nurgle in general tend to do okay against Norse once they've got a bit of development, and he certainly does have a better team. As you said, we think that next season is really going to be when he shines. He's down his block, Mighty Blow, Claw, Guard, Nurgle Warrior, though, which is kind of a big deal.
Yep.
But only that. He's still got the bench, so he's not in serious
The big thing is Ironmaster is down 300k TV. Is he?
So he is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's down.
Yeah, Jesus.
He's down 250k TV.
His thrower is out again. This time he's niggled. Or no, he was already niggled. So now he's MNG'd again. Probably the niggle doing a thing.
Hiroto.
Right, another rampant.
Sorry, good.
I was gonna say, and now his Ulf is also niggled. So he's got 2 very key players that are niggled, which is real scary as Norse.
Yeah, I was just Hiroto. I was just we watched 2 games, 1 in 7, 1 in 6, and we looked at the results for 7. We're now doing predictions for 7. So what do you think on this one? I think while Ironmaster gets a lot of inducements, I think Nurgle with this much Mighty Blow against a team that has a couple of MNG'd key players is a good one for the Nurgle. So I think
Ironmaster's at 1460. The Nurgle are at actually 1700, I think. So that's Cheney territory.
It is.
Cheney's not bad.
He is not. He is
not that much Mighty Blow. It's 1, 2, 3 plus the Beast, which
4.
is pretty unreliable. So
4. That's 4 Mighty Blow hits turn 1. The big thing about Cheney, Cheney does have Claw, but he's also Wrestle, and Wrestle does not really work with Claw because you're not breaking armor, and almost all of the Galactic's team has block, so you're not going to get as much use out of the Claw there as you probably want.
Sure, but I mean, Cheney is useful regardless.
Oh, for sure, he is.
I think I still want to give it to Galactic. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough decision about what to take. So then we have Scaled Measures and the Werewolf of Wall Street.
So So Werewolf has not played their game yet, so we don't know what their team is going to look like. They were kind of beaten up last I remember. Yes, they're still kind of beat up.
The big thing is the werewolves, because the wolves, the claw. He will have bitey, McStab, and slash back though, which is claw, mighty blow, block, tackle against lizards, which is a pretty big piece, especially since he also has dauntless. That's a 2+ dauntless to get potentially 2 shots at claw, mighty blow on a Saurus, which is a big deal. And he's going to have that piece because it's currently MNG'd.
It is indeed, but this is a pretty serious lizard team with a lot of mighty blow, which can cause a lot of attrition to Necro teams, and he's down his 210k skink, so his TV isn't even that high, though that does mean he doesn't have the Agi 5 monster. I think I like the lizards for this, though. I don't know, what do you think?
It's hard to say without seeing what's going to happen to Cunning Foxpup's team, but he's playing against Wood Elves, so I can't imagine he's going to take too much damage. He's going to get his werewolf back, and he's going to have some inducements against these lizards. I'll take the Necro, and we can make some contentious picks here.
More contentious.
Yeah. I will take Cunning Foxpup. I believe in you. Win games. Sons of Sam and the Rotting Snatches. So we've got Lord Teton at 1650 orcs, and we have the sort of mighty blow spam orcs, and we have the top of the table 1970 Tommy Too Tall Nurgle. I think it's going to be a tough one for the orcs, honestly, with how well that Tommy Too Tall has been playing, and at this point when this team is he's 1920 because he has got some cash, but there's a couple mighty blow claw block. There's one mighty blow claw block strength 5. There's one mighty blow claw block piling on.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be an awful game for Lord Teton.
Yeah, the orcs could win this game if they were more guard spammy. He's got 4, which is certainly really good. But if this was like a 6 orc or 6 guard orc team, I'd be a lot more confident. With the sort of mighty blow spam, that's not going to work as well against Nurgle. I think I have to give this to top of the table Tommy Too Tall.
Agreed.
So then we have Authorcs and the Norse Unleashed. So we've got Doof and we have Hiroto. So we've got 1790 orcs against with a whole bunch of guard that's 5 guard against 1080 Norse. I assume they're going to get some loners there. 7, so they get 4 loners, which is 200k. So they're really 1280 Norse. So they get 500k TV in inducements, which is a thing.
It is indeed. I think it's gonna be interesting, but I think the orcs are kind of the clear winners in that matchup, just because eventually AV7 is gonna do AV7 things.
There's only so much you can take in inducements, even with 500k, and it turns out that much guard is hard to overcome even with inducements as Norse, right? You're playing the bash game, but you're playing a bash game against armor 8, strength 4, and a lot of guard stand firm. It's going to be hard for the Norse to play their bash game, so I think I have to give that to the orcs.
I mean, yeah, Ice Belt and Chain are going to do work, and it's going to be fun, but I don't know if they're going to.
It shouldn't be too difficult to prevent chainy blocks with all that guard. Ice Pelt definitely harder because Yeti, but it shouldn't be too hard to set up frenzy traps and that sort of thing because of all the guard that you have available as the Authorcs. It'll be a fun game certainly, but I think the Authorcs take it more often than the Norse do there. Friendship is Massacre and Wood United. So Wood United we can't really tell a whole lot about because they're currently playing a game. So the only thing we know for sure is that they'll have their kick and agi linemen back because they're both currently MNG'd. And they'll be playing against Friendship is Massacre? Morally?
Yep. Who is looking real lean now with a new mummy, new white.
0 tackle.
0 tackle, 3 mighty blow, a niggled ghoul, and a movement busted Raj ghoul.
So the mighty blow is certainly very helpful. but the 0 tackle against the almost entirely dodge team of Luke.
Yeah, along with the mighty blow that the War Dancer is sporting is just going to spell real sadness. And there's no sure hands. Oh, no, there is a sure hands, isn't there, on one of the ghouls?
Twilight Slaughter, yeah. You could take 2 Yetis. You could take a Merc Yeti and you could take Ice Pelt. That would be funny. And that might actually be not bad because that's a lot of strength.
It would be terrible.
That's a lot of strength.
Animals, yeah, but they're wild animals. They're incredibly unreliable.
It doesn't matter. You just have to you make one wild animal and put them in a good spot, and then the orcs have a hard time dealing with 2 of them. And Ice Pelt doesn't have wild animal.
All right, you're bad at being fast. Welf versus Undead.
I have to give it to the Wood Elves because the Undead have no tackle, essentially. It's going to be hard for them to utilize their blocks.
Oh, it's true. Ice Pelt doesn't have wild animal.
I said that.
I don't listen to you when you talk.
It's only 1 wild animal, and Ice Pelt, and so it's only 1 wild animal, which is not any different than normal. And then you have 2 strength players.
Do you know who doesn't have wild animal? Cheney.
Yes, but he's also strength 4 instead of 5, or Ice Pelt is 6.
He's wrestle, catch, claw.
Yeah,
the combo.
He's a very good player. I just think it's going to be pretty easy for Doof to defend against Cheney because of all the guard on his Black Orcs, who are also strength 4, to set up annoying frenzy traps and stuff. Cake and humans, Mezozoic Mighty Men, and wait, did you predict somebody for the Wood Elves?
Yeah, I predicted the Wood Elves.
Okay,
I think the Lizards are going to beat the humans. It's not a very good matchup for the humans in general.
No, and there isn't a whole enough to get inducements really for the humans. Cake is out his Kroxigor, but the Kroxigor doesn't matter as much against humans. There is the Ogre to match up against, but with all the Saurus, you can deal with that way instead. There's the 1 Mighty Blow piling on for the humans, but all you have to do is Cake is protect your Skinks, and then that human is probably not going to get a ton done against the Saurus. Armor 9 saving you. 3 guard is certainly good. But I think I still want to give this to Cake. Cake also has 2 guard and some good developed Saurus. So I will also give that to Cake. Ooh, yeah, you could induce Mighty Blow on the Merc Yeti and have a Claw Mighty Blow. That would be good. Anyway, a lot of options there with 500 KTV, so a lot to think about, certainly. For Hiroto, but that could be an interesting game to look to see what he gets. I'm interested to see that. Shall we look at 6 and what happened?
Yeah, let's do it.
So here's the leaderboard. It's worth noting that there are a couple things that haven't occurred yet, right? So Ragedorf has not played foul targets, but foul targets were a no-show last week. So it seems likely that if they haven't played by now, they're a no-show this week. As well, which is unfortunate. That hope nothing terrible has happened to Jeff. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, me neither.
And Economy of Scale has a bye week as well. So that means that those 2 have not played yet, which means that where am I? Gotta find my list. So Ragedorf, while currently down here in 5th, they're missing a win. So really, they should be in 2nd. With 22 points, because they're going to gain 3, and they're currently on 19. And what was the other one that didn't play? Economy of Scale. So Economy of Scale is... yes, but where are they on the table? They're currently in 6th with 18, so they should be at 21, which ties them for 2nd with Average Rice, MyStays, and Eisenmike, who are all on 21 points. And we have Mr. J in 1st with 25, and Rouge's Gallery. So he's got a bit of an advantage now, 4 points clear of 2nd place. So he's got a win padded in there, certainly, which means he's pretty likely to go to playoffs now. Pretty likely to finish in 1st, very likely to go to playoffs because there are 2 spots in this division. But 2nd is still up in the air between Average Rice, MyStays, Eisenmike, Unseen Walker, and Furril and Rolling Red. Because Rolling Red is on 18, which is only 1 win behind all the people tied for 2nd. So there's a very close division here still. The Rolling Red and Furril are... Furril gets a bye. Rolling Red is probably out of it, but he's not mathematically eliminated. So Very close division, a lot going on there. So, we can't talk about those matches because they are buys. Or probably a buy in this case. It just hasn't played yet in any case. So then we have Draenor versus Average Rice, which we watched, so we don't really need to go over it in detail. But we did see Draenor win that in a shocking display of poor ordering from both sides. A lot of Croc's first blocks and also like blocking a sidestep player first before moving the ball so that you push a sidestep tackle player onto your ball. Don't do things like that, both of you. But it's worth noting that, let's see, we predicted Average Rice and he lost, so that's...
We also predicted the Fogmire Fenbeast would beat the Norse, and they very much did not.
Nope. 3-0 to the Great Cold Ones. MVP going to a Berserker who levels from that, so that's nice to see. And MVP going to a Skink who levels. He's a block Skink, so the level actually isn't bad.
No, diving tackle if he doesn't roll anything good.
Let's see. He has not chosen it yet, so we don't know.
Neither of them chose. I already checked.
Okay.
62 blocks, 70. That means the Lizards probably outblocked the Norse because Frenzy is a thing. Both teams got 5 KOs and 1 injury on that many blocks, which is very low for 19 and 18 breaks, respectively. You'd expect it to be more like 7 or 8 KOs and 2 to 4 Kazes, I think. Depends on how the Mighty Blow plays out.
I'm interested to know what happened here. Like, similar block numbers, similar removal numbers, but the Lizards literally never had the ball.
Lizards failed. No, because they succeeded in 1 pickup. That statistic is weird. They succeeded in 1 pickup, so they had the ball at least briefly. There was a lightning bolt. The Lizard's armor was broken 56% of the time, which certainly does not help.
Presumably the way that worked, since it's 0 and there was a pickup, is that he picked up the ball and then like made a GFI or a dodge and failed it, so he didn't end the turn with the ball despite picking it up.
I think that's it. He also failed 66% of his wake up after KOs, which is not going to help.
But if that's the only time holding onto the ball, is that you had to do a dodge or a GFI afterwards, that's not really a great situation to be in.
Yeah, it says it's probably found. Great Cold Ones, similar armor rolls, 50%. Less egregious when you're armor 7 than when you're armor 9.
It's all 94% injury.
Yes, that means he only was injured once.
Yeah.
Failed both of his jump up blocks, 50% of his pickups, made 1 dodge, hacks, 8 GFIs, pretty good, 90% wild animals, damn. Yep, so rough game for the Lizards, definitely.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happened there. I mean, similar number of blocks on both sides, but it looks like the Norse just had it more in control than the Lizards. But even if that was the case, you'd expect like a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 is a thing. I don't really know how that occurred, and I'm interested to know what happened.
Apparently it rained in the first half, and he forgot who started with the ball. I'm guessing it was the Lizards.
Rain does not help Lizards.
Hufflepuff Heroes versus Elements of Style. My Stays versus the Woo. And the Woo picks up a win against our prediction. We are...
Yeah, not doing well this week.
Well, over 3. We're probably right on the prediction on the Dwarves, but yeah, not great. Khemri getting 14 armor breaks on 36 blocks, resulting in 4 KOs, 5 injuries, and a death. Kind of spells that out.
Yeah, 5 KOs, 6 casualties, and a death sustained. So a lot of Wood Elf removals.
Yep, and the Wood Elves got 2 breaks and 15 blocks. They, I assume, crumpled early and crumpled hard.
Yeah, looks that way. Only 5 SPP for the Wood Elves in the MVP. Barely any dice rolled for the Khemri, like all single digits. And the vast majority of those are armor. There were 10 GFIs, but there were 2 injury roll, or a bunch of armor and injury rolls. And there was 1 KO wake up. So, like, of the rolls he chose to make, there was 1 catch, 1 dodge, 7 pickups, and 10 GFIs. Like, that's all the dice he rolled in the entire game, which is not a lot.
I see a reroll into a 1 and 9. I see a reroll into a dub skull. And I see a 1 die skull. So yeah, some just bad. And then we don't see the d6 dice, obviously, so had a rough time.
Looks like it.
Chaos versus Vampires. I predicted the Chaos, you predicted the Vamps, and the Vamps 3-0'd the respectable gents.
Yeah, that's a thing too. I mean, I figured it would be something like this. Like either the Vampires would just crumple early and lose, or they would style on the Chaos because of like just the Chaos being mostly plus movement kind of players, and the Vamps just being able to add G4 and Strength 4 their way through things.
So I was talking to Dire Stickfish, and he said that we had to look at his team now because he didn't know if it would last very long, but he got 3 levels on the 3 Vamps we were telling him to level, and they did some things.
Okay, well, we'll have to take a look at that, but let's see.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at it now.
The team?
Yeah, it's important.
Okay. 1770 Vampires. So there are 3 Vampires that were like a touchdown away from leveling, and he got it on all of them. Wow! That's 2 plus Strength Vampires. That's Blodge Strength 5, Dodge Strength 5, Blodge, Block, Tackle, Mighty Blow. Those are some Vampires. Whew!
Spicy.
That's 2 Strength 5 players. I mean, oof, that is okay. That's I think you'd rather Agi 5 because it helps with the Hypno Gazes, but Strength 5 on 2 players is so good.
I mean, I think you'd like one of each.
I suppose that's true. Man, there's some 2 plus Strength Vampires. That's gonna be an annoying team to play.
Yep. So the Vampires got 18 breaks to the Chaos's 8, which is probably most of that story. 45 blocks resulting in 18 breaks. Some of that might be fouls, which gave him 5 KOs, 2 injuries, and a kill. To 33, 3 KOs, and an injury. The Chaos just could not handle the punching game of the Vamps, even though the Vamps punched significantly less than the Chaos did. Both have 1 expulsion, so both did a bit of fouling. Great SPP for BioWare for Life, as discussed. 10, 15, 18, and a lot of it going to Vampires to level all 3 of them. Average Bloodlusts, terrible catches for BioWare for Life. Amazing GFIs. He made 14 GFIs and failed none of them.
All of them. Yeah, I think this is just one of those games where when things go right for Vampires, they go right because, Vampires often don't do well on the nature that they have to roll so many dice. So if you roll a lot of dice and a lot of them work, well then, your biggest weakness is just gone.
Indeed.
And the respectable gents, for that matter, look like their dice weren't particularly amazing. So good dice for one and average dice for the other, especially when one of them is Vampires. Results in a good game for the Vampires.
The Vamps dice were mostly average other than the GFIs. But yeah, it looks like bad dice for the Chaos at 60% armor breaks, or 40% armor breaks, I should say. Really bad injury rates, 53% injury.
Yeah, he couldn't knock over a player to save his life the way it looks like it. There's a lot of pushes. If you look at the block results, push, both down, push. There's a lot of pushes. A couple stumbles, but if you're ever blocking Vampires, they all have dodge, so it's not likely to actually be a knockover.
Truth.
And then we had Rouge's Gallery and the Bad QB squad. We predicted the Chorfs, unsurprisingly, and unsurprisingly, the Chorfs won. This is the top of the table team versus an Underworld team that only had the 1 claw available near the bottom of the table. This was pretty straightforwardly a Chorf pick. Fez Glitch picking up the MVP, which kind of sucks for the Bad QB squad. Hobgoblin getting it, which also isn't ideal. But the Chorfs had this pretty much in hand with the number of removals and stuff. 6 casualties, 4 KOs sustained for the Bad QB squad, 1 sustained for Rouge's Gallery, and it's just a KO. Like, barely any blocks on either side. Like, I think this is
when
just...
Undead get diced, they get diced hard.
Underworld?
Yeah, I mean, Underworld, yeah, sorry. What's there to block once you get 6 injuries, right? He just ran out of players to hit, I imagine. He earned himself 7, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23 SPP.
Well, it's a lot. All the linemen are goblins, right? So once you remove a positional or 2, all that's left are really goblins, and they're just going to dodge out and run away. And your strength or your movement 4 Chorfs aren't going to chase them down. They're just going to plot up the field and keep the ball safe. So I feel like this was just a bunch of early armor breaks for Rouge's Gallery, and then a pretty boring game of the Underworld running away and giving up. At least that's probably what I would do if I were the Underworld. But I don't know. Maybe I should give him more credit and he tried harder.
52% dodges, 50% armor. I guess 50% armor is pretty standard.
52% dodges isn't when you're mostly making stunty ones.
No, yeah, that's bad. Definitely.
50% really stupid is also not great. Well, it's if he didn't have any assists, that's average. But if you're rolling all 4+ really stupids, you're not doing it right. But that's not unexpected. Unfortunate for the bad QB squad, but that's sort of how you'd expect a top of the table Chorf team to play against a lower table Underworld team.
So starting up for week 12, RageDorf, one of the pretty high on the table dwarf team, gets a bye this week and a bye next week. So he's looking pretty good.
Does he get a bye for both of them? No.
He does.
Oh, next week, sorry. I thought you were talking about 12 and 13, but you meant 11 and 12.
Oh, no, I think I did. Oh, sorry, yeah, no, I meant 11 and 12, yes.
Yeah, he doesn't have one for 13, but he does have one for 12. So he's guaranteed to finish the season at 25 points, which is tied for first, but I mean those other players will have to play games, but he's guaranteed to finish at 25, which is and could potentially finish at 28 if he wins his last one. So that's a good position for him to be in.
Absolutely.
AverageRiceJoes and the economy of scale. This is also an important match, I guess. It's another Lizard Mirror where one team's on 21 and one is on 20. No, also 21 because Furril gets a bye last week, right?
Yep.
So two tied Lizard teams again.
7, 8. So Furril has 3 loner skinks, which means he is at 1,400 exactly, compared to Average Rice's 1,740 plus 20 for a level probably on Justin Redmond II.
Slibly.
Might consider ditching some diving tackle skinks here to avoid giving away Slibly. I wouldn't hate it. You've got the money to buy them back after the game, so and a Lizard Mirror is not usually a high damage game, so especially facing Furril's team, you want to probably deplete him of resources if you can.
And we did just watch Average Race's diving tackles do nothing.
Yes.
So very clearly, you just can't. You shouldn't have them.
Yeah, clearly that's how that works.
Yep.
Average Rice has way better developed skinks, has a way better pitch control game. I mean, this should absolutely go to.
I think the big deal for me is the Saurus. Even if you get Slibly, right? That's one good Saurus of your 7, and the other ones are pretty much like there's going to be you're going to have to roll 1 and 9s, or blocks that are capable of 1 and 9ing as Furril, because you've got 3 blockless Saurus, whereas Average Rice has none, right? And I think that is going to be a pretty big decider, just like the more consistent Saurus. So I'll have to go with Average Rice there.
I mean, even if he gets Slibly, he's still aggressively outguarded.
We're still live, but we're not alive.
Yeah. Arkangel, we were looking at your game earlier.
Yeah, we did. Great cold ones and foul targets.
Might be a buy, but if it's not, it's going to be tough because Eisenmike has a really good team for fighting Wood Elves, as I believe. He's got a lot of tackle.
No, he has none.
He doesn't have any tackle. I'm thinking of the other Norse.
But Jeff hasn't played his last 2 games currently, so it's very unlikely that this is actually going to occur.
Yeah, probably eating a season ban for that. So we will leave that there for now. We won't make a prediction.
No, I don't think it's worth it, especially since if so on the one hand, if Jeff does play his game this week, we have no idea what's going to happen to this team. So and Wood Elves can cascade pretty hard, so it's really hard to make a prediction without knowing the state of the team. And if he doesn't play it, he's eating a season ban, so it definitely will go the other way anyway. So there's not much point in making a prediction about that. It would probably be very uninformed. So then we have Elements of Style and the Dead Wrestler Society. So we've got Draenor and his 1810 Lizards. This is another match that matters quite a bit, honestly, because we have Draenor. He's on 16, so he's pretty well outside at this point. But My stays at 21, needs to win this to remain in playoff contention 2 Tacklesaurus for Draenor.
Yep, pretty solid squad for dealing with Wood Elves, though no block or sure hands on skinks is scary. It means they're always going to be a target.
Yeah, in general, Wood Elves are pretty favored against Lizardmen, unless you have like a team that is good at countering those weaknesses. The biggest thing is generally you won't have sure hands on your ball carriers, and your ball carriers are strength 2. So even if you can have guard corners, it's not that difficult for the War Dancers to get 1 dies on you, and with Strip Ball, 1 die is fine.
He doesn't have Strip Ball, but he does have.
Oh, I'm looking at Jeff. I'm looking at the wrong team.
My Stays does have lots of tackle, or lots of like his Dancers is definitely going to be a problem for him to deal with.
Yeah.
I think, and my Stays is probably going to get a Wizard out of this. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he gets 2. And they're what, 70k each?
Yeah, so he'll be, but he's 20k above, so really he'll be at 1740.
1740 compared to 1810. He could scum a wizard, though that would be a lot of scumming.
He does get 70k, which he like even at worst, if you don't think of anything more exciting, that's a Babe, which could make a lot of difference in a match where you're going to be taking some blocks from lizards on your armor 7.
Yeah. I think I want to give this to my Stays. I'm going to continue to curse him so that he yells at us after everything.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that it's a big game for him. If he wants to go to playoffs, he absolutely has to win this.
Stop snaking things. Come on, show us your A game.
Exactly. So it would be. I feel bad for him to not back him.
Did I pick him or did you? I don't remember.
I picked him, but I think you also picked him. Oh no, no! I picked him and the Ragedorf, and you picked Ragedorf and the Orcs who left.
Who got banned.
And the first place is the Chaos Dwarfs, who we didn't predict at the time. To be fair, those Chaos Dwarfs have gotten a bunch of surprise buys that we weren't expecting several weeks ago. Yes. So that is hard to take that into account several weeks ago, but that is a thing that occurred. Yeah, like I think Draenor has a surprisingly good shot at that, because it isn't the grossest Wood Elf team currently. But lizards generally aren't favored against Wood Elves, and that War Dancer is going to be able to do things against skinks because there's no sure hands available. So, yeah, my Stays for me. Sorry, Draenor. Cat, I can't see. You're standing in front of my screen.
Then we have the Respectable Gents and Fogmire Fenbeast. So this is the Chaos team versus the pretty beefy Lizard team with lots of kill potential for a Lizard team. The movement AV busted block Mighty Blow guard is still there. Should probably be gone. 2 thumbs up has leveled. That was the one we thought he'd get rid of, but has not gotten rid of him yet. And Toys R Us Bankruptcy has leveled, which is the Blodge Step Skink, which will probably pick up Diving Tackle. It's a good thing to have. And he's facing off against the extremely diminished Chaos team.
Yeah, there's only 3 Chaos Warriors, and he can't afford to buy a new one. And the ones that he does have are 2 of them are just rookies, and 1 of them is block strength. So he is going to have some. He's going to have 2 Beastmen here, and they are 60k, so that's another 120. So he'll be at 1340 against 1790. So that's 450. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm the Chaos Inducement sucks, so I'm going to give this to the Lizards.
They're better than Nurgle.
They are. I mean, you can both get Borak the Despoiler, right?
That is true.
He's decent.
He's just another Chaos Warrior, which is a big deal.
He's a Strength 5 Chaos Warrior, and he's Block Mighty Blow.
He is Block Mighty Blow Dirty Player.
He is. Don't use your Strength 5 Dirty Player.
And that's you could get Borak in a Wizard.
Yep. Or Borak and some bribes.
To stomp on things?
Yeah, with Borak.
Let's see. No, Morg is dumb. Nobble Blackward probably isn't good. There's Brick Farth, some more strength. There's the Minotaur, Grashnak Blackhoof. He's a strength 6 Minotaur without wild animal, which is Horn's Mighty Blow makes him. Horns makes him strength 7 on the blitz.
Yeah, but I mean, he then is frenzy and gets stuck up in players, and then gets blitzed by lizards who don't really have strength issues.
No, it's also not worth it because the strength 7 doesn't do anything. Lizards, it turns out, don't have any strength 3 players, so the strength 7 versus strength 6 doesn't change anything. You can't make anything a 3-die.
Oh yeah, Brick does come with an Agi 4 Gobbo.
He does, so you can throw him. He comes with Grotti. He's an Agi 4. Yeah, it's just a standard goblin, but he's Agi 4, I believe.
That's a pretty good goblin.
Yeah, it's like a 2-heads goblin. Can dodge anywhere, and it gives you the 1-turn option.
It makes you better at landing too.
And yeah, the 1-turn option. And Brick has strong arm, so like it's actually a pretty good 1-turn option in all honesty. And because Brick Farth has nerves of steel and strong arm, so it's kind of a fun
Does nerves of steel affect throw teammate?
Yeah, it's a pass. Yeah.
Fascinating.
I mean, we could talk about all the fun inducements. I kind of want to watch this match because I feel like the inducements will be really entertaining. But I think even with some good inducements, it's still a lot to overcome. So I'm going to want to give that to the lizards as well.
And then we have Bad QB Squad versus the Khemri. That's probably going to be the Khemri. Khemri are punchy and are going to just beat the living hell out of you.
And we have the Dark Blake Bortles, the Claw Skaven Blitzer is MNG'd. So he has picked up a new Skaven Blitzer, so he finally has 2. But one of them is MNG'd. So the
important one is MNG.
Yeah, the big thing you need that Claw Mighty Blow against Khemri, and you just don't have it. So I think that's going to go. The Tomb Guardians are going to run roughshod over this team. I think. I mean, there's a lot of goblins, but Tomb Guardians are going to get free 3-dies against them, and you get potentially 4 return.
The troll is going to get a block Mighty Blow claw hit every once in a while, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No. So I will go for the Khemri there as well. And then we have Rouge's Gallery and Bioware for Life. So we've got our brand new minted double Strength 5 vampires, which is why we had to look at it now, because he didn't think they were going to last against this Chaos Dwarf team that is 1930 with a whole bunch of Claw Mighty Blow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be brutal.
Yeah,
you might actually win this with your crazy Vamp squad. If you don't immediately lose all of your thralls and then bloodlust to death, I think you actually stand a decent chance of winning this game. But you are gonna die.
Yeah, it's one of those like classic sort of Wood Elf type matchups where you can win this, but it might cost you your team. Yeah, I think I want to give it to Chaos Dwarfs because I think on average this goes to Chaos Dwarfs. Because but vampires are one of those teams where the variance is really high. So it's, you could have a terrible game if the dice don't go your way. You could have a great game if the bloodlusts work and you don't badly hurt all your own thralls. But if you lose a couple thralls early, if you lose a vampire early, suddenly it becomes way harder for you to win. So I think I have to give this to the Chaos Dwarfs. But it's not like the Chaos Dwarfs 100% win this, certainly. I would not be I would not be surprised if you won. I just think if you played this game a whole bunch of times, the Chaos Dwarf win more often than the vampires do.
Yeah, they're just going to pummel you. So that's the predictions for the week.
Yep.
We actually had no contested picks in Div 6. We felt that they were all pretty clear-cut.
Yep. Division 7, I'll bring up the title screen. Division 7 is a bit closer in terms of the playoff race, so there can be some more divisive picks there, but we're at the point where in week 11 where the table has separated quite strongly. So there are some teams that are near the bottom. There are some teams that and probably have less of a team, and there are some teams that are near the top. So the predictions are a bit more straightforward now than they were. So if you missed parts of this, it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow instead of Thursday, and that will continue for the rest of the season. So Tuesday streams, Wednesday video, and we have 2 weeks left, but we have 13 and like post 13, I guess. Next week we'll be taking a look at the teams. We'll be back next Tuesday and Saturday for sure. Come check out that match. It'll be super exciting. Until then, thanks for hanging out. This has been very long. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm sure you're going to go to sleep.
All right. See you later, dude.
I've been Steakmittens, and we will see you next time.